Hi guys, yesterday I made a video about writing your goals for 2025 and also writing your daily goals and your weekly goals. And I advise everyone to get a very old-fashioned piece of paper. Okay, it's not a tablet from Moses on the mountain. It is a little more advanced, and a biro. This is my favorite biro. I get it in deals in like a 5 or 6 pack. It's a gel pen and it is like 150 or €2 for a whole load of, maybe it's 250 now. Yeah, because they're quite popular. But oh, it's my favorite pen. I have so many people have taken these pens from me because when they write with them, they're like, that's nice. Could I take that one? So I give them to them because they're so cheap. So this is my sheet. I have goals written here, GOALS. You can write plan goals. Usually what I do is I write goals if I'm doing the overarching goals, which are the kind of big goals. And I also do brainstorming. So what I do is I write a list of goals and that will change. So accept that it's going to change. So I have 2025. I have 31st of the 12th, 2024 written there. So I always put the date because then if I do an edit or something and I'm looking for it, I know when I did that one. But I always put the date anyway because I kind of so these are my goals. So one of my goals for 2025 is to grow my business. Okay. When you write a goal as macro, that means kind of big overview like this, you're going to look at it and go, like, that's very vague. What does it mean? What am I talking about? How am I going to get there? So we're not doing that right now. We're not doing that yet. We're going to get there. We'll get there in this. So grow my business. Always put a number. It doesn't matter if that's the most important goal. Just put down the goals as they come to you. So this is my goal for 2025. Okay. I 100%, 1,000,000% if it was available, but 100% believe, and I know for a fact that I have never achieved a goal that I didn't write down. And every single thing, once I started writing it down, I achieved it. And that doesn't make me, I'm not some exceptional human being. I'm not Wonder Woman or Superman or super anything. I am just ordinary Joe, but I have, it gives you a belief in yourself that you will need and that we all need. Like life is about survival in the best way you can do it, achieving the things you need to do to continue on that cycle. So this is my coffee with cream, my keto coffee with cream. Doesn't spike your insulin. See, I have my CGM. I got a CGM to see whether keto works. 100,000,000%, if there was such a percentage. Keto works. My blood sugar is averaging 5.4, which is absolutely brilliant. Half the time I'm not eating, the other half I'm eating keto. The only time my blood sugar has gone up is when 3 times that I ate tiny amounts of carbs. Yesterday it went up the highest. I drank a cup of tea with milk. The day before, I had a teaspoon of rice, white rice basmati. I could not believe that my blood sugar went up. It didn't go outside the range. There's a kind of a range that you should be in. And then, I mean, I may as well be kind of dead or boring or something from this CGM. And the other time was I ate a lot of pistachios, which have a higher carb count than most nuts. And it seems to be around 10 grams of carbs that it will. I ate the whole bag, which you're only supposed to eat like a handful. But I ate the whole bag, which I often do. And my CGM went up to like 6.9 or something like that. So I'm averaging 5.4, which is absolutely brilliant. It means, and even at night, the only time that I've had dips is usually kind of just after I get up in the morning or just before I get up or in the middle of the night around 4 a.m. So anyway, that's an aside. So and that was one of my goals for 2024 and to get a CGM. And when did I get the CGM? At Christmas. I waited because I didn't have the money. I didn't want to allocate funds to something I didn't really need. And then I said, look, I'll put it in my Christmas. That I planned that from say March or even before March that I would get a CGM in 2024. I didn't get it until the very end of 2024. So you have to be prepared to put your shoulder to the wheel and realize that you're not going to get it immediately. And sometimes maybe I wouldn't have had the money and I couldn't get it till 2025, but at least it's on the list, so it's going to happen. If it's on the list, I can tell you now, I can guarantee you it's going to happen. And you have to keep putting it on the list. So let's say you revise the list. You got to put that one on the list again. So grow my business in 2025. Number 2, what's my next goal? Continue keto and do fasting February and March. That what I mean by that is do strict keto. So I'm going to put down, so I'm writing that down, and then I'm going to just put a little thing at the bottom saying do strict keto. So that all that means is no carbs for those months. I know in February that I'm going to have one little thing where I'll probably have to have a slice of cake. This is where I'm different from a lot of other people. You'll watch people on keto and they're so strict that I don't live in that fantasy world where you have no friends, no family. I live in the real world. Like today, I will have some carbs. Tonight, I believe in celebrating New Year's Eve. So tonight, I will probably have a couple of glasses of wine. I don't believe in being completely a dry balls. And I'm not saying they have to drink or eat carbs, but there's a reason why we're attracted to eating sugar. There's a reason why, because it's very good for our survival. We have survived very well as humans. The only problem is that now it has caused an obesity epidemic. And ironically, the other night I had made a video on being banned on TikTok because I said obesity equals being fat. And it was banned for bullying and harassment. Honestly, the world has gone mad. But if that's the way it is, I adapt to what it is. So I'm going to have to put that down on one of my goals. So obesity is a modern day problem of the West. And it's because we're eating too many carbs, too much sugar, too much refined carbs. They can tell you it's because of what's in the food. Yes, there's an element to that in terms of the toxins. But overall, let's get back to basics. It is the over-refined carbohydrates. It's all of the carbohydrates. It's not just the over-refined, it's also the fruits and stuff like that. Fruit is great. Eat it in limited quantities now and again. It's fantastic for the fiber. If you're a person that is not obese and you're maintaining your weight really well, you can have maybe something like a kiwi or whatever, or raspberries every day or whatever. I eat fruit very limited quantities because you will pile on the pounds and you get a fatty liver because your liver processes fructose, and there's a lot of fructose in fruit. But do not juice your fruit. Eat it whole. Eat the kiwis with the skins on and enjoy your fruit. Eat the apples with the skins on. Stop peeling. Where did we get all this shit? I mean, somebody visited my house one time. They were like peeling the apples. And I was like, that's the best part, the fiber. That's the only part that is the best part. But it's great for the fiber and stuff like that. I drink coffee for my polyphenols, and so that I can be a little bit extra wired. So there's another one. So then number 3, what else do I want to do? Oh, do more talks. Talks and consultancy, because I started that last year and it went very well. I have been asked to give some lectures on digital marketing and stuff like that. At the moment, I keep my stuff pretty basic because I really don't have the time, but I'm going to up my game. Oh yeah, that's another one. So up my game. So I'm going to write it in the language that comes to me. So up my game on YouTube, graphics, and video delivery. So what we're going to do is I'll put it down like that. So as I think of it, so this is macro planning. So I'm putting it down like this, so that I understand what I was thinking, and then I can refine it later on. How do I go about that? Do I need to do a course? Do I need to just sit down? Like, that's really what I need to do. I need to just sit down and do it, as opposed to I have very limited time. So I have a limited opportunity, so I need to get the message out as quickly as possible. And I want to share my own story about how keto ketogenic lifestyle, diet has transformed my life and has transformed my blood results, has made me feel like I'm more in control of my own health, has made me realize that I can clean out my system. I've already gotten rid of my atherosclerosis, which is the plaquing of the insides of the arteries from years of eating carbs. I'm virtually at zero now. I use the triglyceride to HDL ratio. If you look at some of my blood results, I put them in the comments. And there are other things that are cropping up, like cleaning out my gallbladder, because it may have crystals and gallstones from years ago. It takes 10 years to get these things. So now my bile is flushing out, and it's really good bile. So these are very important things. I never thought about the inside of my body. I just chomped on refined carbs. The more stuff out of a box that I could eat, the better. I loved it all. So I can talk from the mountaintops because I've been there. I've really been there. So I'm going to put that down. So that's number 4. It doesn't matter what order they're in. I think you should just put them down. So let's say you want to get an iPhone 15. Like I have an iPhone 11, which is perfectly fine. I'm not going to get a new iPhone. I don't need it. This one's fine. I'm happy out with it. So let's say you have something you want to get, like a new car. So put that on your list. Like I'm not into buying new cars. I'm a bit stingy. I'll always pay for important things first. So I'd rather pay for a course than a new car. But that's just me. I'm quite stingy that way. I'm really into budgeting and that kind of stuff. So let's say you have something, like say this for me, the CGM. Let's say you want to buy something like that was 50 quid. So I could have bought that in early in 2024, but I didn't. I said, no, if I'm going to spend that's a want. It's not a need. I'm going to keep my money until Christmas. And then Santa Claus, which is myself, bought it for me, or brought it for me. So that's what I did. Happy days. So the next thing you do is you put down, say I have to lose 10 to 15 pounds because I have a wedding in April. So I have put on a bit of weight over Christmas and coming up to Christmas, because I was working a very sedentary office-based job for 6 months, and I have piled on 10 or 15 pounds, even though I was doing quite a lot of fasting and stuff. I was not getting out walking. I just wasn't exercising. It really just goes to show that sedentary nature of work can impact. Also, I find the more you sit down, when you come home, the more you don't want to move. And you do end up eating and drinking stuff you don't really want. Like somebody in the office buys cappuccinos. You don't want to be too rude. So I take the hit. I don't mind putting on a small bit of weight. These people, I see the people on keto and carnivore that are going out with their friends, and then they're saying they're in a restaurant and they're saying, oh, you can only cook my food in butter. They're giving directions to the chef. Give me a break. Live your life. Live in the real world. You're not going to die. You're not going to get cancer. You're not going to get dementia just because you had one night out and you ate the bejes out of it and you had loads of chips and whatever. Oh my God, I love that stuff. I still love that stuff. Today I will be having, like I said, I'll be having some carbs and I'll be having some wine, because today is a very important day. I think it's very important to celebrate. Even if you're on your own, it's very important to celebrate the turn of the year, because it does make a difference. And the mistakes you've made in 2024 are behind you. You're finished with 2024 at the end of tonight. But also we celebrate, good and bad, what happened in 2024, and we try and learn from all the different things that happen. So there's been some great things happen, some terrible things. That's real life. Terrible things happen, good things happen. That's real life. We're constantly moving forward. You don't really need to have a sunny personality per se. You can just make the best of small things. Like for me, a cup of coffee in the morning is everything. In 2024, I had been using these coffee plungers for years, and mine was so old, it was all the coffee was coming up on the sides of the coffee granules, and I was just drinking like big soup of coffee. And I had said in 2024, I'm going to get myself a coffee machine. The one also, I had one of those pod machines before, and I thought they were so wasteful, you know, with the little foil thing. So I had, and I was saved up and saved up, and then it was on special offer. The one for $79.99 was on special offer in Lidl. I was ready. I had it written down for months in my book that I was going to get a coffee machine, the one where you just put in the coffee grinds and you put it in. It's like a professional machine, but I didn't want to spend too much money. And I was looking in the shops, it's like up to 3,000, 4,000 euros for these things. So I was in Lidl one day. I rarely go in the middle aisle because you don't want to buy stuff you don't need. Get out of the middle aisle. So, but I did start looking in the middle aisle of places while I was keeping an eye out for the coffee machine. Next thing, the coffee machine was $39.99. I bought it that day, but I had months of preparation, months of knowing that I was going to get that at some point. And when I saw it at the right time, I was ready. So success comes when you are ready. Opportunity knocks, but only when you're ready. You have to be ready. It's not just luck. Things don't happen by luck. They happen because you're ready. You're thinking, you're going, yeah, this is going to happen. It mightn't happen today. And then sometimes you will feel like it's never going to happen. Sometimes in 2025, you're going to feel this one on the list is never going to happen. But I guarantee you it will happen. If you've written down and you're manifesting and you're watching and waiting and preparing and you're getting all the little steps in place. So for each one of these, I'm going to have 10 little steps, probably 6 little steps, 5 little steps to achieve that. So there's little things you need to put in place, like little building blocks, and you will find that you will be very successful. So get your little notebook, get writing.